But that day I realized that if it can happen once, if I can be fired once, I can be fired twice, I can be fired third time, I can be fired fourth time, and I can be fired from all levels. Recession, hiring freeze, इकोनॉमिक स्लो डाउन, लोगों की नौकरियां जा रही हैं, मार्केट में बहुत डर है और ये डर जायज़ भी है। बट क्या ये डर पहली बार है? क्या ये डर पहले नहीं था? क्या ये डर आगे नहीं होगा? आप में से कुछ लोगों ने नौकरी खो दी है और मे भी कुछ लोग खोने वाले हैं। एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि ये बहुत बढ़िया टाइम है और सबको पॉजिटिव रहना चाहिए। नो, इट्स नेगेटिव थिंग एंड वी ऑल शुड बी अ लिटिल बिट वरीड, लिटिल बिट फियरफुल टुवर्ड्स आवर फ्यूचर, टुवर्ड्स आवर जॉब्स। बट देयर आर फ्यू थिंग्स दैट विल रिमेन ट्रू ऑलवेज, नो मैटर आपकी इकोनॉमी कहाँ है, नो मैटर आप किस जॉब प्रोफाइल में हो, नो मैटर आप अपने लाइफ में किस स्टेज पे हो, एंड दैट इज सर्वाइवल। how do you survive, not just financially and physically but emotionally, because we all know that जो चीज़ें आज चल रही हैं it is going to change, right? Because there is one thing that is certain, that no matter what happens, our tomorrow is going to be brighter than today. That is the basic fundamental of human existence. If we don't have hope, we don't exist. If we don't have hope for better tomorrow, there is no sense of doing anything. There is no sense of getting out of bed, going to office, working for someone else. There is nothing makes sense if we don't have hope. So today I'm going to share a story of hope and of fear of being laid off. So I was in third year of my college, and I was very much into this social media content creation, social media marketing and all these things. It was my thing, and I was very sure that this is my passion and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So I started applying for jobs, I started doing my own thing, and fortunately I got a big opportunity. I started working with a very famous personality on YouTube or social media, and he's very nice guy, and I started working with him. I really enjoyed it. Okay, and that time I started getting my first salary. It was 10,000 rupees per month, and believe me or not, but that 10,000 rupees was everything for me. And I worked hard day and night. God knows I worked very well. And but along the line, maybe I didn't have experience, I wasn't aware about the strict protocol that he follows, or whatever, how he runs his company or his team. I was not aware about that, and there were few mistakes that I made, I admit that. But then one day I get a call that this is last warning, and if you do one more mistake, I have to let you go. And we all know that if you are worried about doing a mistake, it is certain that you are going to do one more. And that happened, and I was fired. Okay, and that time I thought that basically my life was finished. I'm done. Everything I worked for, it just, poof, gone. I was kind of depressed. I was, I won't deny, I was very afraid. I was in shock, in depression. And the main point was that I was fired for doing what I love, and I did everything I could, but still, you're out. And that day I realized that this is how real world works. Okay, you love your job, you're good at it, you're being paid for it, but there are unseen circumstances, there are uncontrolled forces that is going to affect you no matter what. Okay, so someday you are making 10,000 a month, next day you are back to zero. So maybe some of you can't relate to 10,000, but imagine that 10,000 is everything for me. Just like maybe your salary is everything for you, and it is suddenly being taken away. What would you do? Okay, and I won't lecture you ki be patient, be calm, keep working, work hard, because fuck that, none of that matters when you're fired and this termination letter is on your fucking face. None of these uh, positive shit work, okay? But that day I realized that if it can happen once, if I can be fired once, I can be fired twice, I can be fired third time, I can be fired fourth time, and I can be fired from all levels. If I can be fired from job that is paying me 10,000 a month, I can be fired from a job that is paying me 10 lakh a month or 1 crore a month. There is no such barrier. If you're making 10,000 per month, then it's a small job, because that 10,000 is everything for you, just like maybe 5 lakh is everything for someone, maybe 1 crore is everything for someone. That 10,000 was everything for me. So that day I realized, if I can be fired from one job, I can be fired from any job. I can be fired from one label, I can be fired from all the levels. And at that day I started to work on this one principle to find my rock bottom. What is the worst thing that can happen to me, and what is the best possible rock bottom that I can hit if that thing happens? Okay, so let me tell you my situation right now. I am living in Gurgaon. I pay around 15,000 rent. My utilities are around 6,000, so that takes 20,000 a month. My expenses are around 20-30,000. So in a month I spend almost 50 to 60,000 just for my living expenses. Okay, and supposedly I have just one source of income, and that is my job. And tomorrow I get a letter, okay, now you're fired, what's next? Okay, I can't pay 50,000 every month for my living expenses once I have no job. So if I don't have plan for that, I will be devastated, I will be thrown out of the world. Maybe I could go to depression, and that is only going to delay my progress. So now I defined my rock bottom. So I have my parents' home in my hometown, so it's basically free of rent. Nobody is going to ask me for the rent, and water is there free, electricity is kind of free, and the next expenses I have calculated that I can survive in 5,000 a month. That is my worst rock bottom. Okay, this could be different for you. Maybe you are living in a rent in apartment that has 30,000 rent, you could shift to 15,000 one. Or maybe you are living in a house, maybe you can just rent that house, go somewhere else, live cheaply until and unless this whole wave pass, or you get a new job, or you do something with your life, anything. But the moment you start being depressed, the moment you start being cynical about economy, about your boss, about the company you're working for, because it's not their fault, they're here to make money, and if you come in the way of their making money, they are going to cut you down, they are going to cut you loose. This is how human evolution work. Okay, we are here to make profit, and in that process there are some unethical things that everyone is willing to do, that everyone is ready to do. So don't have any hard feeling, because it's not going to help you. It is only going to make you more depressed, more cynical. It is going to suck energy out of you. So try to work on yourself, try to find your rock bottom, and once you hit it, just stay there for a while, build yourself up until you hit back again. So I hope this small story will be able to convince some of us to fight back and stay positive.